What's up, horror community? I'm Stock, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 3 characters in horror that I can feel some type of sympathy for, and I think that is something that's very unique when it comes to horror movies, when it comes to any type of horror stuff in general. I think it's unique that you can feel sympathy for a person who is literally committing murder for the most part. If you're a horror character, that's what you're doing. So in this video, there's a lot that I could kind of feel sympathy for. This is just 3 that I'm going to talk about, 3 that come to my mind the most, I'd say. I mean, there's just so many, but I'm just going to talk about these 3 in this one. Let's get into it. So the first person I'll be talking about on this list is, in my opinion, probably the most oftenly chosen pick for anybody that has seen this movie, and that is Carrie from Carrie. So to me, she is one of the easiest horror villains to feel sympathy for, because the whole movie is boiled down to this: she gets completely bullied the whole time. She's this normal girl. Throughout the movie, she did nothing wrong. You know, she's just shy, a little awkward, or whatever it is that a lot of people are in life. And she's just struggling in school and stuff, but the whole time she's getting brutally bullied. And not even just that, but she also has this very troubled home life with her mom, and her mom's like religious beliefs kind of forced onto her and in a crazy way, and that's nuts itself too. So she doesn't even have comfort when she goes home. So there's just nothing there for this girl in her life that's positive. And of course, there's like there's like a teacher, I think, that looks after her and stuff, but she's so brutally bullied by other people in her class or whatever. She finally meets up with this guy who's like this popular dude. She eventually goes to the dance with him, so she finally's got someone. She's finally happy, finally feeling things. And the ending shot, like, of Carrie, of her just being humiliated in front of the entire school, in front of everyone, the teachers, every single person in the school that you could imagine, she's humiliated in front of. That was the final straw for her, and she went on a whole freaking killing spree with her superpower, and she killed everybody. And obviously, at the end of the day, in real life, you don't kill someone regardless. I don't even have to say that, because this is in terms of horror movies and like how you can feel that sympathy for them. But in terms of the movie, in terms of who I was rooting for more, it was Carrie the whole time. And even though she did kill all of them, I was still on her side throughout that whole movie. I feel like it's hard to not be on her side, because all those people, you could say they had what was coming for them. Next up on my list is a very unique one. This is one that I really like a lot, and that is my choice of Norman Bates from the Psycho franchise. And I really say this one because of Psycho 2, and I'll get into that, but I want to give a quick layout on Psycho 1. Basically, Norman Bates is the main killer in Psycho. He dresses up as his deceased mom, and he has like a split personality of pretending to be her one second, pretending to be himself. He murders people when he's dressed up in that attire of his mother that he killed years ago, because they explain that more in the 4th installment, but like his mom was so bad to him and stuff like that. But anyways, what I'm getting at and why I feel it for him the most is, yes, there's something super wrong with him, of course, but it's weird because I feel for him in ways, because in Psycho 2, he really tries to change his ways. Like, he knows what he did was wrong. He talks about that. He got the help he needed after Psycho 1, and he's allowed to get out of where he was trapped up inside and try to live a normal life, try to move forward, try to just get a normal job, go back to your home, don't kill anyone, don't be this super crazy person anymore. And he was doing great at that. The whole movie he's fighting that, but it's just his reputation and the survivor from Psycho 1 that is framing him, making him look like he's still doing murders, making him still look like the bad guy that he was. When he wasn't. Throughout Psycho 2, it wasn't him doing all these crazy bad things. He wasn't committing the kills and all that nuts stuff. He was legitly trying to be better. And for me, that hits here because I felt that as a fan, as a viewer. I felt like he was genuinely trying to be better, and I can relate that to life. Of course, not in terms of murder, but I can relate it to life in terms of like you're trying to be better from your past mistakes, and you're genuinely trying to learn and to adapt and to just change the wrong that you were doing. And it's like a real life message, and like especially in this scenario, in this movie series, you feel that, like you feel super bad for him because yes, there's something wrong with him. Yes, he's got a traumatized backstory, and he's this guy that clearly not everything's there, but you know he's fighting himself like hell to be that good guy. And he even meets like a girl he really likes in this too, and they have a really nice dynamic that I liked a lot. It's my favorite element from the Psycho franchise. Actually, Psycho 2 is my favorite movie from the Psycho franchise. It even has a great barn burner theme song in Psycho 2. I absolutely freaking love it. It's such a good song. It really fits with that whole story too in Psycho 2 as well. But that's what it boils down to. Norman Bates in 2 really makes me feel for him, and it's just such an unfortunate ending in that movie because he kind of relapses and starts going back to his old ways. But it's because of what he was put through in that second movie. Like if people kind of accepted him, continued to try to help him, and just worked with him in his change and trying to be better, I don't think we would have fallen back into the monster from Psycho 1. And here's my last choice I'll be talking about on this video, and it is another one that I think is very popular choice. It's a simple story, but it's effective. Just because something's simple doesn't mean it ain't excellent. In my opinion, simple stuff is the most effective and is my favorite. But I'm talking about Jason Voorhees, my boy Jason, and you gotta feel some type of sympathy for this monster, this man, this boy, this guy, this dude. And I'll say this, I will track his story real quick, and it's because he drowned as a little kid. Like he was a very little kid at a camp with the camp counselors that were supposed to look over my boy, but they weren't. They were making love while he was drowning, lost his life, drowned in the lake because these freaking counselors weren't doing their job and they were just making out and doing whatever, and they let poor Jason die. So you feel for him on that. He was just a normal boy, had a weird look to him, and he was trying to fit in. He was not a killer. He was not this crazy murderer as a little kid. He wasn't. He was just out of camp trying to have a good time. And he lost his life because people didn't want to do their job. Fast forward to Mrs. Voorhees in Friday 1, and she is another one you could feel some type of sympathy for because she's just trying to avenge her son. Even though she's doing horrific things that I don't agree with, you can kind of feel a little sympathy of, hey, you people like you camp counselors are the reason why my son isn't here today, and you let him die because you didn't do your job and you were being ignorant. So you could feel for her. But now she kind of snowballs into more of Jason and more of feeling bad for him because she gets her head chopped off while she's fighting the final girl in Friday 1. So now Jason comes back in 2. He's the big deranged monster, but he's got all the trauma in the camp from them letting him drown as a little kid, and now he's got the trauma of his mom's cut off head. So he sees his mom dead. The only thing he had left is gone, and he has her head, and he keeps that in a shrine in his secret lair. And you see that in Friday 2, and you see his emotional connection to his mom because of that scene where the final girl in Friday 2 is messing with him, and she's dressed up with a sweater of his mom, and you could see Jason's like hit by that. He's tilting his head. He's like, whoa, like, is that my mom? Like, that's hitting him hard for real. and you feel that. And Jason, it's cool that I could put him in this video because he is one of the most brutal horror slashers of all time. He's got so many kills, so many freaking gruesome kills, like no mercy. You could see him as this emotionless monster that doesn't talk, that has the mask on. You don't see any type of facial expression on him. You see none of that stuff. But if you peel back those layers, he absolutely can be, in ways, the #1 most sympathetic horror slasher of all time. So those are the 3 that I'm talking about today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it'd be a really unique idea. It's just something that's been hitting my head lately with like feeling sympathy for horror characters. I put it up on my Twitter, I put it up on my Instagram, and it got a lot of engagement, especially Twitter actually, and it was so cool just reading through all the people that all the people were saying, and all these different characters that you wouldn't even think of, like, oh, you know what, I could see why they said that. So it's just such a unique topic because, like I said in the beginning of the video, like you're literally trying to feel some type of sympathy for people that are committing tons of murders. That's just the unique thing with the horror genre, with the horror community. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy, crazy field. But I love it. Guys, let me know down below if you guys agree with any of my 3 takes. If you disagree with any of my takes too, I would love to hear that. Comment down below any of people that you guys feel sympathy for in the horror field, because I would, of course, continue to love to read them. But guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Horror 31st.